stop, pause, recalibrate. This is your power. So consciously being and becoming the embodiment of what you want. And from this place, watch how life rearranges itself to meet your energy. So in this new world, leadership, well, success is definitely not built through struggle and burnout. It's about showing up as an energetic match to frequency, the right frequency for you and your vision.
Welcome to The Rise Show, a podcast for highly driven and spiritual women with big ideas, dreams, and visions. Audacious women just like you, who are committed to their evolution and obsessed about all things personal growth, spirituality, manifestation, and feminine embodiment. I'm your host, Nathalie Banaszak, feminine success and branding coach, and I'm here to support you on your journey and path of expansion. I know you're ready for so much more. Permission granted to go for greatness, your wildest desires, and the most radiant and full expression of the brand called you. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Good morning from a glorious morning in Bali, the islands of gods, and my spiritual home, and what's been my physical home for many years too. I'm getting ready to go back to another home, my home country, Sweden, in just a few days to arrive just in time for one of my favorite seasons, sparkling, magical, and glittering Christmas. So today I am savoring Bali magic even more, if possible, than I normally do, as I'll leave for a couple of months for exciting things that's happening in Sweden and Europe. So more of that to come, but for now, you are so welcome to another episode of The Rise Show. And if we have not yet met, I'm Nathalie Banaszak, and I help visionary women to embody their next level of leadership, radiance, and magnetism, not by doing more, but by simply becoming more unapologetically, fully themselves. This whole show is dedicated to the woman who knows she's here to lead with light, to rise, and to rewrite our narrative of success through her authenticity and feminine power, and know that this is our show, and I'm here for you and with you. So if you tune into last week's episode, the radiance frequency, lead with pleasure, attract with power, you already know that radiance is your superpower. Radiance originates from authenticity. It's what makes you magnetic. It's what I talk about when we're speaking about the magnetism of authentic personal branding and why it's so incredibly powerful to adopt that philosophy into your way of being and leadership style. Because it's what allows you to lead with ease and it makes you a natural super attractor. So today we take that conversation from last week's episode one layer deeper. Because femininity itself, your intuition, your softness, your ability to flow and attract, it's not a nice to have or an unnecessary luxury. It's not something extra to sprinkle on top of your success. This is, and I mean femininity, it is divine luxury living within you as you, just waiting to come fully alive. Also, it's a savvy strategy. As you hear me say all the time, strategy might be 10% of your success. Your energy, how you choose to show up or not, is 90%, if not even more. Meaning if your inner world is colored by limiting beliefs and an energy of lack and fear that's running the show, that's a frequency that people can feel. And it actually repels because energy speaks louder than words. And as we spoke about last week, and we speak about it in different ways in every single episode, basically, feminine radiance, confidence, this fierce embodiment, that holds an energy. And so does fear, doubt, desperation, and insecurity. not making anything good or bad, just being the witness, and then remembering that, wow, what a luxury. I do have the choice to choose what energy I want to live in and what will be my leadership frequency. So when you fully grasp and understand this, when you learn to work with your feminine essence instead of trying to suppress, control, or outperform it, you'll see how everything you've been chasing starts to basically chase you. How? It will find you. Because this is divine truth. It is quantum law. What you seek is also seeking you. What belongs to you wants to find you. Whether that will be your dream home, your dream partner, your dream contract, collaboration, clients, community, bank balance, your job is to accept and relax into an inner knowing and trust this, that there's a higher intelligence and that divine order is in charge, always ready to operate in favor for you. Your job and, may I say, responsibility is to make yourself available for the good and magic to find you. Understanding and knowing the power that this truth holds, that is a game changer. And obviously not something we've been taught in school. Well, at least not my school. I don't know about you. I would assume not. So let's get going and let's begin. So please take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. And let's dive into what it truly means to make your feminine frequency, your radiance frequency, your most powerful asset, the strategy that will feel amazing, not off, because it's a strategy that's all about alignment. So we are witnessing a global shift in leadership and modern conscious creation, where the old paradigm, the one built on hustle, competition, stress, and constant output, is collapsing, is falling apart. In many ways, the old is a broken system and simply no longer sustainable nor magnetic. The women who lead the path of a new earth rising are doing it differently. We lead with energy, not overdoing, stress, and this supreme effort. We build movements through magnetism, not manipulation. We attract through deeper resonance, not performance. And this shift is not just spiritual, it's strategic, it's energetic. Because frequency leads before results. Let me read this again. Energy and frequency leads before results. Feel free to pause to take that all in a couple of times. I'm sure you've felt this yourself. The moment you soften, wow, everything flows and all of a sudden you remember bliss. The moment you trust the right people magically or not, they will appear. The moment you stop pushing, you start receiving. And that's not a coincidence. That's the power of energetic alignment. And the truth is, you don't need to chase. That's not how the universe has been set up and created. You don't need to compete. You don't need to prove yourself. What you do need is to remember who you are and lead from there. And for that, you need to ask yourself if you see yourself as a powerful leader and believe that's why you're here. You're ready to rise higher and simply go and explore the next level. This is the feminine revolution. And it's not a revolution like in a protest. It's just a bold presence. So let's talk about the hustle era. Because for decades, women were told that to be successful, read, seen, loved, heard, accepted, we needed to play the masculine game, overplay it. It's a very heavy program deeply integrated in our subconscious. We learn to strive, to sacrifice, to prove that we could do it all. It's like this Wonder Woman syndrome. Anyone? So being capable is obviously an incredible resource, and I celebrate that and us for being those women. It's a skill, but not to the expense of our levels of health and well-being and radiance. Because here's another truth. Hustle energy seriously repels miracles because it's built on scarcity. Oh, I must work harder to be worthy. And that's the fastest way to burn out your magnetism. Now, the feminine frequency, we're talking about radiance, that frequency operates very differently. It's about timing, intuition, and receptivity. It's about building something new from the inside out. So when you're in your feminine energy and allow that to be your strategy number one, that also means that you don't operate and take actions from pressure. You move from power. You move with power. You move as power. Why? Because you are the embodiment of it. So this is you trusting your wildest heart desires because you trust yourself. You make bold, aligned decisions from intuition, not old patterns of fear. And you build relationships and partnerships, collaborations that feel like soul contracts, not just transactions. Now, this is when your life and your business begin to move in synchronicity and flow. You know the feeling when everything just all of a sudden clicks with ease. It's the path of least resistance. And hand on your heart, doesn't ease feel good to you when you feel into the expression of it? And don't misunderstand me here. We know how to get things done when we need to. It's just that we choose from what energy and what place we take aligned actions from. So if we're out of sync and out of alignment, we understand that our first assignment must be to get back into harmony with ourselves. We know how to show up. We know that action is part of the equation. So know that it's just a very different place that we're operating from. So yeah, to summarize, let's disagree on the fact that the energy of stress, struggle, and hustle doesn't work anymore. Now, this is deep work. We are rewriting old programming that's been operating for our whole lives. And I mean, if we want to take it further, we're also dealing with ancestral imprints that lives in our nervous system. Okay, that's for another episode. But my point is we are dealing with a lot of things to consider when we're speaking about conscious change. So if we truly say that we want to rise above this old way of being, we need to also be willing to commit to growth and evolution and be the change we desire to see in the world. And that starts with you, it starts with me. And every moment is a moment to live more fully. This also means that we need to learn how to unhook from the mental addiction that's been keeping us stuck and trapped in this over-masculine way of being and doing. Because we are wired to certain ways of being. And that's because that's how we've always done it. So for the body and your nervous system, even though it's seriously harming you, and I'm speaking about stress here as one word that just describes so many different habits and ways of being, but your system believes this to be safe because for her, your body, your nervous system, anything that's new is considered to be a threat. This is why change can feel so hard. And it takes something. It truly does. It's very easy to give up. But that's not how we do it here, right? So this is exactly why we need a holistic and multidimensional approach to conscious transformation and leadership. We cannot just stay in the head. We need to get into our bodies and take the journey from head to heart to restore balance. which includes undoing stress and old ways of being, and relearning new habits that support your vision of where you want to go and who you want to be as you move toward your higher vision. So the whole culture of hustle it's important to know that, it's a lifestyle that is driven by capitalism and the patriarchy. And it's putting productivity and work achievements above all else, but it's doing it so to the expense of your mental, emotional, and physical health. So when we're in the hustle culture, everything we do is like rise and grind. It's about, having this strict and super rigid routine. And typically, our self-worth will be directly measured by our achievements, social status, and the approval of what others will think. So what we do here inside Rise is that we're reframing the toxic masculine paradigm that so many women find themselves in today while building their dream lives, careers, and businesses, relationships, like everything. So I'm learning hustle culture to embrace a new era of the feminine economy. This is where we get to choose how we show up in our leadership. So again, this episode is a dedication to using femininity as an intelligent powerhouse strategy. So what if we together can reframe the essence of the hustle culture completely? Knowing that femininity is not the opposite of strategy, it is strategy. So first, let's drop into what I mean when I speak about strategy. Here's the new strategy. Start in your heart. It's a huge difference from being a heart-centered woman and choosing to live and lead with your heart open, because it's very easy to get trapped into closing your heart and closing our hearts. And this is about not daring to be vulnerable, not showing up as our full authentic selves. So there's a huge difference energetically between living with our hearts open versus living with our hearts closed. And obviously this is something that, happens on and off during the day. It's a practice. So this matters because when we're not consciously focusing on, like, again, I'm saying here, focus, concentrating on keeping our hearts open, we're not open to receive our good fully. Let's say traditional strategy says plan, analyze, control. Feminine strategy says align, attract, allow, flow. Both, of course, are powerful. That's why you hear me speak about this, about creating this powerful merge and blend of the both. We need the masculine, we need the feminine, but we also need a balance, and we need to restore this balance. So yeah, as with all things in life, it's about owning the perfect blend and what that looks like for you. And as I see it, the future belongs to those who master the merge. This is for those of us who are interested in thriving, not just surviving. It's those of us who know that knowing when to take aligned action and when to lean back and let energy do the work. So we understand this magic formula between spiritual faith and taking aligned action. So this is about doing and being, choosing who you want to be before you do, and deeply knowing the difference. It's about cultivating faith. It's about letting go of the rope and allow healing, transformation, and higher power to come in and support your dreams so that you're actually knowing that you are co-creating with the universe. So also, the feminine way is not passive. It's very potent. It's precise. And it's energetically intelligent. Let's break this down and think about it together for a bit. Intuition holds information. It is data. Desire is guidance, and it gives you direction. Pleasure is productivity, and it drives results. Your emotions are your GPS, not your weakness. It's this incredibly intelligent guidance system that you can tap into. So when a woman is in her body, in her energy, she's the most intuitive strategist there is. You can intuitively sense opportunities before they even arrive. This is how we call our own shots. This means that we need to be bigger than just witnessing facts, what the eye can see, what's happening in the 3D world. What I mean by that is that we know and understand that there is higher intelligence operating that's supporting our mission and dreams because we're aligned. This woman knows how to magnetize, how to move energy, how to lead with grace and timing, and she is not afraid to be fully seen in her full glory, power, and magnetism. This is what I mean when I say femininity is strategy. And so let's look into what does it look like to lead and create in this way? What is the magnetic woman's way? Well, it's simple, but it's not really easy. Okay, stay with me. So why is it not perhaps easy, even if it could be? Because this way of leading asks you to release your sense of control. And since you're here, I believe you can relate to the control freak syndrome. Or perhaps you, like me, are a recovering one. So letting go of control is so much about cultivating trust in yourself, in others, and the universe. Once and for all, be willing to give up on the idea that everything lies on your shoulder. Because that becomes so heavy. What if you just allow yourself to relax? And as absurd as it is, learning how to relax and do nothing takes practice. You need to understand, know, and respect that when your old self feel like you're wasting time, you're not being productive, or, oh my God, I'm being lazy. What if you fully own the truth that when you're simply being, that is the window where you can allow more good into your life? This can be intuitive guidance coming from within, support, being open to observe the feedback coming from the universe that's available to you all day long. When you know the power of the pause so that you can stop, like with intention, and notice just how loved you are, to not cut love off. And you will know and see and feel how infinitely backed up and supported you are. Sure, it is up to you to take you where you want to be. We have a choice. You get to decide. However, you are not doing this by yourself. Love, you are working and collaborating with the highest power there is on the world. Like we're speaking about God, nature, the universe. Like again, always I say, use your language. Like, look at Mother Earth. Look at how nature behaves. She is the force. She's powerful and a fantastic teacher. When I recognize my old self showing up, wanting to control, like overdoing things, I stop, pause, and I remind myself, Nathalie, stop playing God. Now that sentence will make me smile because I know exactly what that means. It's this remembrance, and I'm speaking about myself here. Please take it and make it yours. It's this remembrance that my goals, my dreams, my mission is fueled by so much love, so much devotion that of course God is here to support me and the fulfillment of everything that I desire to come to me, not by my struggle and effort. No, I choose ease. So in a million different ways that I cannot even think of. And I do have a big mindset, and I believe that you do have too. But we cannot see the full picture. That's what the universe is here to support us with. And this is also where obviously where unwavering faith comes into the picture. So, I mean, neither you and I can comprehend the grandness of what's going on behind the scenes. The things we cannot yet perhaps see in 3D, as I mentioned before, but we can tap into the infinite potential in the quantum field. And we do that by trusting in our whole selves, by trusting the universe, because consciousness lives in our beautiful bodies, not just our brains. Everything on earth is interconnected. So the whole pattern of trying to micromanage and control everything is sneaky and shows up in so many different ways. So we need to stay awake, alert, to notice when and where we abandon our nature and step into patterns that cause stress response. This is radical self-love. And to add on everything that I've said, what we're talking about, how about this radical new concept? To surrender the old ways of forcing and proving, to trust that your presence is enough to move mountains, and knowing that faith combined with aligned action, that's what drive miracles. Because miracles are natural. A magnetic woman doesn't chase, she calibrates, and she recalibrates whenever needed. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you're being triggered by something. You're noticing that you're defaulting to an old way of being. Instead of like judging yourself and becoming mad and frustrated and just, going further and lower in the vicious cycle, stop, pause, recalibrate. This is your power. So consciously being and becoming the embodiment of what you want. And from this place, watch how life rearranges itself to meet your energy. So in this new world, leadership, success is definitely not built through struggle and burnout. It's about showing up as an energetic match to frequency, the right frequency for you and your vision. And if you want to dive more into this way of manifesting, I invite you to tune into, I think it's episode 11, where we dive more into the concept of intentional identity creation and magnetic branding as a power tool to become a vibrational match to everything you desire. We'll link that for you in the show notes. For now, okay, let me share a few notes of what that looks like in practice so that you can start practicing right now. Setting your intentions clearly and then deciding to let go. This takes intention, willpower, because we're so made, most often we have a habit of trying to force things. Invest in your energy first before strategy or structure, meaning you're willing to change your plan of how it should be and surrender your timeline. Surround yourself with people who expand you. Oh my God, you hear me speak about this all the time. Like if you watch my story, you see me posting things, gratitude and from my community. And I mean, you're part of it. So, we need to surround ourselves we need to consciously create an environment and make our surroundings beautiful, knowing that they impact you tremendously. Make pleasure your fuel, not a reward. So this is what I call the pleasure principle that we've been discussing previous episodes. And this trust that you are a magnet when you remember your essence. Personal power, feminine magnetism is an activation that starts with a remembering of who you truly are. There is zero denying. So this is not this philosophy. It's quantum leadership. When your nervous system is relaxed, when your heart is open, you receive more. Because feeling safe and secure in your body creates expansion. And expansion creates overflow. Now, this is evolution. The antidote to most lack of results is to teach your body that it's safe to let go. So, on this note, we talk about this in every single episode. And how can we not? So, let's bring in something I love to teach that, I speak about in various ways, always. And we're talking about radical self-love, radical self-confidence, radical self-empowerment. Because feminine strategy without self-trust will always lead you back to burnout or back to burnout. You know what I mean? That kind of energy of stress and hustle. True confidence is not loud. It's embodiment and it's powerful. It's this quiet knowing that says, I am the strategy. Please try that one on. Look yourself in the mirror. Notice your beauty and power. Say out loud, I am the strategy. Wow. Own it. Now, that's the edge. That's your unique edge. That's what makes you unforgettable. People will never forget how you made them feel. It's a classic saying in marketing itself. It's not what you do, it's who you are. So, I mean, when we bring energetics into branding and business, why am I speaking about magnetic, authentic branding for women? Building your business on feminine principles, which means we look into your whole lifestyle. So, a woman who knows her worth doesn't negotiate her standards. No. You are high value. She doesn't overgive to prove her value. She doesn't dilute her vision to be accepted. She knows that her energy is the offer. Like, please take this in consideration whenever we go into a conversation about sales, money. And this is like upcoming episodes. You know that if you don't, I do a lot of work when it comes to wealth consciousness with my clients, because it's directly linked to your levels of worth. And again, I have not yet met a woman, including myself, that have not needed and need to go deep to heal and undo old self-imposed limiting belief systems about worthiness. Okay, that was an add-on because money is a fascinating topic and it's like one of the greatest stories on earth. So more to come about that note. Anyways, back to you as a strategy. You select. You do not settle for mediocre or breadcrumbs. You know what I mean by that. I mean, this is a choice, but if you resonate with what I'm saying, why would you go for anything but tense? Why? When we live in a world that just shows abundance in all that is. So the world will respond very differently to an energy of a woman that feels this way about herself, who knows her worth. So if you are experiencing lack of results, this holds precious information that tells you that there is some kind of misalignment within your being, some kind of lie that still is within you, limiting beliefs that's running the show. This is not bad. This is an invite to dive deep, to rewrite the story. No more lies about who you truly are, your worth, what you're capable of, and who you're here to be. You own your energy. You get to lead with higher frequency. This is how embodied feminine leaders magnetize high-level opportunities, soul-mate clients, and aligned collaborations. There is no chasing. There is this gorgeous fit. And know then that you know what's right for you. And trust that what's right for you wants to come to you. So your job is again and again to stay open and clear your channel holistically and trust in your capacity to receive infinitely. Now, this divine confidence that we're speaking about here is not about perfection. It's about energy congruence. And again, your power is in your presence. It always begins with knowing who you truly are. If the results you desire have not yet manifested, it's not about you hustling, stressing, and doing more. It's about spiritual surrender. It's about remembering. So you realizing that the old way of doing life and business, if you feel that simply doesn't work for you anymore. I mean, I've been there and I'm consciously practicing on this myself. Like this is, again, it's a work for a lifetime. That when you declare that you are open and ready to try new ways of doing things, and the way you back yourself up, showing that you mean serious business. And when you speak this truth, you stay true to your commitments. And this is how you lead by example. And this is an embodied feminine leader. So day by day, you witness who you are being before you do. So not falling victim to stressed responses and I need to do more. So this is the reprogramming. This is the undoing. It's about allowing yourself to relax, slow down, and how rebellious this might seem. It's an action, like being and relaxing and slowing down. It's an action that is part of the whole undoing and the reprogramming. Strategy is structure, and the feminine needs a structure. But your energy, that's the architecture. It's the fundamentals of creation itself. So you can have like the most perfect plan, but if your frequency is off, it won't land. Like I experienced this firsthand myself in many different ways in my life. And I've seen it and I see it with clients in my community, in the world. How would it look like? How could the world be different if all of us would commit to lead from alignment? So let your energy go first and watch your results that follow from this state of being. So if you want to sit with this a little bit more, let's get radical honest and examine your current vibration. Your emotions, your levels of alignment will tell you where you hang out the most. Commit for a week or forever. Because when you do this as a habit, it won't feel like an effort. You're just being you, and you're doing this as part of your, wellness routines and rituals. So check in daily at least 10 times to notice your vibe, your energy, how you're feeling. Become familiar with your default and where you live most of the day. And don't make it good or bad. There is no right or wrong. So please do not judge yourself if you find that you tend to hang out a lot in fear and stress. Just celebrate yourself for being willing to shine light on what it is you witness. And remember that thoughts and emotions are not the or your enemy. No, they carry guidance and information that you can look deeply into as an observer to evaluate. What are these emotions you want to elevate and expand on? And what are the thoughts and emotions you clearly can tell that you're simply no longer willing to harbor? Everything starts with radical awareness. However, though, what are you going to do with your awareness? Because this is where most people tend to stop. We stay in our heads, we get frustrated, we notice the same old habits. Are you going to show up for the next level actions that's going to shift and transform everything? Choosing a new vibe, choosing a new energy, choosing a new way to be, remembering that it's your choice. No right, no wrong. Whatever it is that you desire to be, you have a choice. We all do. Not saying that it's always easy. It takes something. That I say, it takes something. But the reward? Wow. The reward is fulfillment, inner peace, congruence, truth, alignment, radiance. Like, I could just keep on going. But most importantly, we are speaking about self-liberation, personal freedom. Like, how do you even put a price tag on that? This is your life. This is our life. And this is also how we together as a collective can come together to create a new energy and to lead with this higher frequency together. So now then, as a conscious, feminine, embodied leader, you decide what your next thought, emotion, and aligned action is going to be. You have a choice. Again, this is a privilege of a lifetime. So what's going to be your leadership strategy? Okay, we are wrapping up. Another truth. I don't believe that the world needs more women who can do it all by themselves. I believe that the world needs more women who remember the glory, the radiance. They already are it all. So when you embody your feminine strategy, when you lead from intuition, warmth, magnetism, radiance, you stop fighting for your place and hustling your way to results. You become the place. You don't have to chase opportunities. You attract them. You don't have to force the timeline. You flow with divine timing, and your presence becomes your power. Your femininity becomes your strategy, and your leadership becomes your legacy. So here's your invitation. As you move through your week, make it a habit to pause, soften, and breathe. Let your body lead. Let your pleasure and energy guide you. Let your feminine essence be your most intelligent business and life strategy. And remember that collaboration is the heartbeat of transition and femininity. So please, as you do this work, allow yourself to be held, supported, and backed up. Whatever you need to give yourself, how you need to treat yourself to feel that you're infinitely supported in every single area of your life. And notice how this feeling most likely will have you show up very differently as you transition into a new way of being. And let yourself know that you're safe, cared for, and protected. Speak to your younger self, your inner child as well. You are infinite love. You are light and you have so much wisdom and power. Please remember this. This is how we rise together, with ease, with magnetism, with grace. Until next time, stay radiant, stay magnetic, and remember that your femininity gets to be the strategy.
If you loved this podcast, please go ahead and subscribe. That way you get updates anytime I post a new episode. And if you're feeling extra generous, go ahead and share this with a sister you know needs to hear this message and leave a review. It would mean so much, as I love to envision a world with more feminine embodied leaders. If you're looking to further grow, evolve, and expand your life and business, connect with me on Instagram and sign up for my Rise newsletter. Get ready to receive special announcements, inspiration, high vibe self-empowerment, tips, hacks, and tools on how to become the woman you most want to be right into your inbox. Link in the show notes. Until next time, have a gorgeous week.